Hi there, I'm Peter Millard, and in the 10-minute workshop this week, I've got a chatty sort of vlog style video for you. That's coming up next. So yeah, it's been a slightly bitty, kind of scrappy kind of week this week in the workshop, and I thought I'd just do a similarly bitty, chatty vlog style video for you. Last week I did 2 big installs. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen, or Patreon, and thank you if you do support me on Patreon, you'll have seen a couple of little videos of those. I had a big set of shelves, 2.7 metres high, 1600 wide, to go in, and also a big double wardrobe and top box. They were both going into the same place, but I couldn't do them on consecutive days, so I had to pull everything out and then take all the gear back in again. So it was a real bit of a slog. The shelves were huge, it had to be broken down into 4 sections just to get them in, because this was on the second floor of an old sort of Victorian conversion. And each section weighed about 35 kilos, so big, heavy thing. Worked out all okay. Client's very happy with them. And it was a nice job to do, but a huge amount of work. So I've been sort of taking a bit of a breather this week, taking a bit of stock, and just catching my breath a little bit. So back in the workshop, bright and breezy Monday morning. I had a well-established, very old client of mine I've known a long time. She wanted a slightly odd-sized headboard making for a spare bedroom, and I put this together out of naturally MR, MDF, and also a little bit of softwood for the rails that attach it to the bed base. Once the headboard was sized, I used my little Katsu trimmer with an Aris round over bit. Really liking that Katsu trimmer. A really nice little router, and I did the same sort of round over on the softwood rails. The rails are just glued and screwed to the headboard, and then the screw holes filled, sanded and sprayed with a satin finish. I was using Tikkurila Helmi for the finish, Helmi 30. Really nice paint for spraying. Really coming to really appreciate that. And normally with headboards as well, you need to put either slots or a row of holes in the rails, but this particular bed base didn't have the fixings for that, so they were just screwed to the bed base on site, and that's worked out really well. Again, it was an odd size because it needed to fit sort of under a shelf. The client was very happy with it, and it's doing the job exactly that she needs it to. And then another another little job that I did for, again, an old client who I hadn't seen for a while. Again, we go way back, was to put up a Venetian blind for them. They have a rental apartment that they let, and they've got a new tenant, and they needed a blind for a room. They bought the blind, had one made to fit, but couldn't put it up. These things don't come with instructions, apparently. And I haven't done this kind of handyman type thing for a long time, and I kind of forgotten just how time-consuming these things are. How much stuff you need to have with you. You need to drill a couple of holes in brickwork. Well, you need your extractor and all the other bits and pieces. But it all went okay in the end, and it looks good in the room, and it did actually fit, although the window opening sort of was wider at the back than it was at the front, so it was a bit of a fiddle to get it all in, but it worked out okay in the end. And then back in the workshop, again, I'm doing a little bit of boxing in again for another old client. They've been sort of coming out of the woodwork a little bit this last week. This client had a new WC, new toilet fitted, and the one that came out had a separate cistern, but the new one is a close coupled cistern, so the cistern actually sits on the pan. But rather than remove the pipework, the guy that fitted it just left the close coupled WC and cistern just kind of floating, just sat there on the floor with nothing at all behind it. So I'm fitting a sort of a false wall for this, cut to accommodate the soil pipe and put together so that it's completely removable for access should the pipework need some attention in future. This hasn't actually gone in yet, but it should be fitted soon. We're just trying to work out the schedules for that. Again, the false wall sort of thing is going to go in on battens with button fix probably, and I'll use button fix as well to fix the top in so that it's easily removable. Again, using the little Katsu trim router just to sort of put a round over on that edge. Very handy little thing to have around. with a single bit in it if you use one thing like that a lot. And then the other thing I did this week was to bang out another one of these console tables that I do for my interior designer client. This one's a plain table, no drawers or anything, nothing fancy in this. I've kind of done enough of these and pretty much bang them out in my sleep. I didn't really want to do a full video on this because I just ended up sort of repeating myself, but I shot a few bits and pieces as it's coming together. And it's all looking pretty good. It's not quite finished yet. There's still a bit more sanding to do. There's always a bit more sanding to do, but I should get it out of the workshop this week, or at least early next week, which is good, because I've got the next batch of things coming in that sort of need my attention. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I'll let the console table video, the bits and pieces that I've shot, run in a minute. But just wanted to say, don't forget that the best way not to miss one of my videos is to subscribe to the channel. And if you do subscribe, don't forget to hit that bell. Then you'll be notified whenever I put up something new. I'd also like to give a quick shout out to all my Patreon supporters who are really helping to keep the lights on here. But that's it for this week. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.
it.